Listen to me. You've been distracted for too long. You're checking everybody else's moves, watching everybody else's grind, but your life, your goals, your future is sitting there waiting on you to show up. This video ain't for the ones playing games. It's for the ones who are ready to lock in. No more gossip. No more scrolling. No more wasting time. Mine. Your business. Because while you're busy watching them win, your business is falling apart. Your dreams are collecting dust. Your potential is calling. But you keep pressing. Ignore. Today we fix that. Today you get serious. Today you stop talking and start building. Let's go. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere, and the majority of them are designed to steal your focus. Whether it's your phone constantly buzzing with notifications, social media updates from people you don't even talk to, or the pressure to keep up with the lives of others, these distractions quietly chip away at your attention and ultimately your progress. The truth is, many people wake up and spend the first hours of their day consuming someone else's life instead of building their own. They check their phone before they check on themselves. They know more about a celebrity's routine than their own morning routine. And in doing so, they hand over the most powerful part of their day, their focus, to things that don't matter. Focus is a currency. Where you spend it determines what you build. If you constantly invest your attention in the noise of the world, don't be surprised when your results are empty. This world is structured to keep you busy, but not productive. To keep your mind occupied, but not growing. Distraction isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent, disguised as entertainment or staying updated. But it's draining your energy and delaying your dreams. Every time you pause your work to scroll, every time you hesitate to start your project because you're comparing it to someone else's, you lose momentum. You give up small pieces of your discipline, and success doesn't come from a single big move. It's built on thousands of small, disciplined decisions made over time. To eliminate distractions, you first have to become brutally honest with yourself. What's stealing your time? What's getting more attention than your own goals? When you realize how much you've given to things that giving nothing back, it stings. But that sting is necessary. It wakes you up. You can't grow if you're not focused. You can't evolve if your eyes are always on someone else's journey. The grind requires clarity, and clarity requires boundaries. That means saying no to late night scrolling. That means turning off notifications, closing the tabs, and creating space so your thoughts can breathe. That means having the courage to walk away from people who distract you, even if they've been part of your life for years. Distraction is the enemy of greatness. It whispers lies, that there's still time, that you're not ready, that you need to watch one more video to feel inspired. But you don't need more content. You need more commitment. You need fewer opinions and more action. You need to disconnect from the noise so you can reconnect with your mission. When you eliminate distractions, what's left is your real life. Your real challenges, your real goals. and the work it takes to reach them. It's uncomfortable, but that's where growth happens. That's where transformation begins. Every second you reclaim from distraction is a second invested in your greatness. You don't owe anyone your attention. You owe yourself your future. So take it back. Too often, people wait for the perfect moment, the right support, or someone to come along and give them permission to chase their dreams. But life doesn't work like that. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody owes you anything. And as harsh as that may sound, it's also incredibly freeing. Because once you accept that your life is 100% your responsibility, you realize that you hold the power. Every decision, every action, and every result, it all starts and ends with you. Taking ownership of your goals means no more blame, no more excuses, and no more pointing fingers at your past, your environment, or the people who didn't support you. It means stepping into your power and saying, if it's going to happen, it's going to be because I made it happen. There's a massive difference between wishing and working. A lot of people talk about success. They dream about it, post about it, and even plan for it. But the moment something goes wrong, they look outward for answers. They blame the market, their boss, their family, or the timing. But ownership doesn't allow room for that. When you own your goals, you stop seeing obstacles as excuses and start seeing them as problems to solve. You develop a mindset that says, if I fall, I'll get back up. If I don't know how, I'll figure it out. If I fail, I'll learn. That shift in perspective is where true power begins. Because you no longer wait for life to be easy. You get better at handling it when it's hard. Owning your goals is not just about hustle and grind. It's about clarity. It means sitting down and getting honest with yourself about what you really want and why you want it. Too many people borrow their goals from others, chasing money because someone else said it's the measure of success, chasing a career because it looks good on paper. But ownership requires alignment. You can't own a goal that's not truly yours. So ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice for? What are you willing to struggle for? What would you still do even if no one clapped for you? That's the goal worth owning. Once you find that, you stop needing motivation because your vision becomes non-negotiable. Taking full ownership also means recognizing that discipline is more important than inspiration. There will be days you don't feel like working. There will be moments when progress feels invisible and the weight of responsibility feels heavy. But those are the moments that define your future. Ownership means showing up anyway. It means building routines that support your vision, even when your emotions don't. It means creating systems that help you stay consistent, even on the days when the results aren't obvious. Because when you own your goals, you understand that growth happens in the silence. In the early mornings, the late nights, the hours when no one is watching. Another part of ownership is protecting your goals from negativity and doubt, especially your own. There will always be voices telling you it's too hard, too late, too unlikely. Sometimes those voices come from outside, and sometimes they come from within. But when you've taken full ownership of your vision, you learn to fight back. You replace doubt with discipline. You replace fear with faith. And most importantly, you stop waiting for someone else to believe in you because you've already made that decision yourself. You understand that belief is a muscle. And the more you act in alignment with your goals, the stronger that belief becomes. Finally, owning your goals means embracing the long game. Quick fixes and shortcuts don't build lasting success. What builds it is resilience. What builds it is patience. What builds it is the relentless commitment to show up every day and do the work. Not because someone told you to, but because you made a promise to yourself. And once you make that promise, once you decide that quitting is no longer an option, everything begins to change. The world starts to move differently around people who move with purpose. Doors open. Opportunities come. Not because you waited for them, but because you created them. So stop outsourcing your life. Stop waiting for someone to hand you the blueprint. You are the blueprint. You are the builder. Take full ownership of your goals, and you take full ownership of your future. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have. Yet, it's the one people waste without realizing its cost. Every day, millions of people wake up and spend hours doing things that bring them no closer to their goals. They say they want success. They say they want change. But then they lose hours to mindless scrolling, meaningless conversations, and activities that drain their energy instead of feeding their purpose. The truth is, not everything that feels urgent is important. Not everyone who demands your attention deserves your time. And not every invitation, event, or message needs a response. If you want to reach the next level, you must learn the difference between activity and productivity. You must get serious about cutting out time wasters, the habits, the people, and the distractions that add no value to your mission. People often think of time wasters as obvious, like playing video games for hours or binge, watching shows. But some of the most dangerous time wasters are disguised as productivity. Endless planning without execution, research without action, meetings that go nowhere, perfectionism that keeps you stuck. These things make you feel like you're doing something, but in reality, all your dreams, keeping you busy while stopping you from moving forward. There's nothing wrong with entertainment or relaxation in moderation. But when you spend more time escaping your life than building it, you're not resting. You're avoiding. And avoidance is the enemy of progress. Cutting out time wasters means making uncomfortable decisions. It means saying no when it's easier to say yes. It means choosing discipline over dopamine. That might look like waking up an hour earlier to work on your goals, even if you're tired. It might mean skipping a party or a night out so you can focus on your side hustle. It might mean distancing yourself from friends who only want to talk about other people instead of talking about growth. These are the choices that separate the average from the exceptional. Success isn't glamorous in real time. It's often lonely, repetitive, and demanding. But every sacrifice you make now is an investment in who you're becoming. Time wasters also exist in our minds. Overthinking, self-doubt, and fear of failure consume mental energy that could be used to take action. You don't need to have everything figured out before you begin. You don't need to be perfect before you start. What you need is to stop procrastinating and trust yourself to figure it out along the way. Fear thrives in delay. The longer you wait, the louder it gets. But when you take action, even small steps, fear loses its grip. That's why the best way to overcome time wasting thoughts is by doing something. Build momentum, and your confidence will follow. Another form of wasted time is comparison. Watching other people succeed can either inspire you or distract you. If you're spending more time watching others live their dreams than working on your own, you're already behind. Social media has made it easy to compare your real life to someone else's highlight reel. But success isn't built in public. It's built in the background, in the daily grind that no one sees. Stop worrying about who's ahead. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. Focus on becoming better, more focused, more disciplined than you were last week. That's how real progress is made. To reclaim your time, you need structure. Create routines that support your goals. Schedule time for deep work, for learning, for execution. Use your calendar like it's sacred, because it is. Don't just plan your week. Protect it. Leave room for rest. Yes, but also be ruthless about cutting out anything that doesn't align with your purpose. Start tracking how you actually spend your time. You'll be shocked at how many minutes slip through your fingers every single day. And once you're aware, you can change. Awareness creates accountability. It's also important to recognize that you don't have to fill every moment with productivity. But you do need to be intentional. Rest with intention. Learn with intention. Connect with people who elevate you with intention. There's a massive difference between resting and wasting time. One restores you, the other depletes you. Don't confuse the two. If your habits aren't helping you grow, they're holding you back. Every yes is a no to something else. So be intentional about where you say yes, and make sure it's aligned with your bigger vision. Your time is your life. Every second you spend can never be earned back. One day you'll look back and either be grateful you used your time wisely or regretful that you let it slip away. Don't wait for a wake call to take control of your time. You don't need a crisis to start prioritizing what matters. You just need the courage to say, enough. I'm done wasting time. I'm ready to build. From this moment forward, make commitment to guard your time like your life depends on it. Because it does. In a world that's constantly pulling your attention in 1,000 different directions, learning to mind your own progress is not just a good habit. It's a survival skill. Every day, you're bombarded with images, opinions, success stories, and highlight reels of other people's lives. And if you're not careful, you'll get so caught up in watching their journey that you forget to walk your own. Minding your own progress is about putting the blinders on and focusing entirely on your lane, your pace, your growth. It's about understanding that comparison is not only the thief of joy, but also the assassin of focus. You can't become the best version of yourself if you're constantly measuring your worth by someone else's timeline. People waste so much time and mental energy wondering why someone else is ahead of them. They ask questions like, why am I not where they are? Or, what am I doing wrong? But the truth is, you're not on their path. You don't have their background, their experiences, their battles, or their blessings. You have your own. And your journey is just as valid, just as important, and just as capable of leading to greatness if you stay focused on it. The minute you start worrying about someone else's results, you've already taken your eyes off the work you're supposed to be doing. That's when you slow down, lose momentum, and start doubting yourself. But when you mind your own progress, you keep showing up regardless of what anyone else is doing. Progress isn't about speed, it's about consistency. And consistency only happens when you're dialed in on your process, not distracted by someone else's results. It's easy to feel like you're falling behind when you see others winning. But you don't know what sacrifices they made. You don't know the price they paid to get there. Maybe they've been grinding in silence for years. Maybe they started before you. Maybe they have advantages you don't. But none of that matters if you're locked in on your own grind. The only thing that does matter is this: are you better than you were yesterday? Did you show up? Did you put in the work? That's what progress looks like. It's personal. It's internal. And it's not always visible to the outside world. When you mind your own progress, you stop chasing trends and start chasing purpose. You stop trying to impress and start trying to improve. You begin to ask yourself powerful questions. What do I need to do today to move forward? Where can I be more disciplined? What's holding me back? And how can I fix it? These questions put you back in control. They turn your focus inward, where it belongs, because real success isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need validation. It just needs you, focused, consistent, and locked in. There's also a mental freedom that comes with minding your own progress. When you're no longer worried about outshining others, you give yourself permission to grow at your own pace. You stop being afraid to start small. You stop rushing the process just to catch up. You begin to value steady, sustainable growth over fast, shallow wins. And that's where true mastery lies. That's where confidence is built. Not in skipping steps, but in respecting the journey. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Because when you're focused on your own progress, nothing is wasted. Not even the pain. Protecting your progress also means guarding it from negativity. That includes the people who question your dreams, mock your ambition, or try to pull you into drama that has nothing to do with your purpose. You've got to be ruthless about your peace. That means walking away from conversations that drain you. It means limiting your exposure to environments that don't support your growth. It means prioritizing your goals over other people's opinions. Not everyone will understand your grind. and they don't need to. They're not supposed to. It's not theirs to understand. It's yours to execute. You also need to track your progress, not for validation, but for clarity. When you write down your goals, reflect on your wins, and measure your improvements, you create a feedback loop of growth. You start to see patterns. You start to notice what works, what doesn't. You adjust. You refine. And that's how you evolve. Don't just aimlessly work. Work with awareness. Every step you take, every hour you invest should be part of a bigger picture that you're consciously building. That's the power of minding your own progress. It puts you in the driver's seat of your life. When you truly commit to this mindset, something amazing happens. You start to care less about what others think and more about what you think. You stop performing and start progressing. You become less reactive and more intentional. You don't need a stage, a spotlight, or a round of applause. You just need that quiet, unshakable belief in your purpose. And that belief gets stronger every time you choose focus over distraction, action over comparison, and progress over perfection. So keep your eyes on your own paper. Keep your feet on your path. Your journey is valid. Your pace is perfect. And your progress, no matter how slow it may seem, is still progress. Don't let anyone rush your process. You're not behind. You're not off track. You're building something real. Stay locked in. Stay consistent. And most of all, stay in your lane, because that's where your power is. There is a voice inside of you that you've been ignoring for far too long. It doesn't yell. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It says, you're made for more. It says, start now. It says, stop settling. But every time it speaks, you drone it out with noise. You silence it with excuses, with distractions, with the fear of not being ready. And so your potential sits there unanswered. That inner call, that tug on your heart, that spark of vision, that is your calling. And the longer you ignore it, the more distant it becomes. But it doesn't go away. It waits. It waits for the day you decide to stop running from it and start rising to meet it. That's what it means to answer your calling, to step fully into the life you were meant to live without waiting for someone else to believe in you first. Answering your calling means taking full ownership of your gifts, your talents, and the fire that's been burning inside you since the beginning. It means no longer asking for permission to shine. It means choosing purpose over popularity and vision over validation. Too many people are waiting for signs, waiting for applause, waiting for the perfect conditions. But your calling doesn't care about your comfort. It cares about your courage. It's not waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to move. Because calling isn't about convenience. It's about conviction. And if you're going to live out your purpose, you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and into your assignment. There's a reason you feel unfulfilled when you're not growing. There's a reason you feel anxious when you procrastinate. That's your potential knocking on the door, asking, when will you take me seriously? And that feeling doesn't go away until you do something with it. Potential isn't permanent. It's perishable. If you don't use it, you lose it. And the saddest thing isn't failure. It's regret. Regret from knowing you could have done more, been more, lived more. If only you'd answer when life called your name. That's why this matters. This isn't about hype or motivation. This is about legacy. This is about living a life that outlasts you. A life that impacts others. A life that was fully lived because you chose to show up. To answer your calling, you must first silence the noise around you. The world is full of voices telling you who to be, what to do, what success should look like. But the most important voice you need to hear is your own. You can't follow your calling if you're living someone else's dream. Your dream. You can't chase what's real for you if you're trapped in the illusion of what's expected. So you have to get quiet. You have to sit with yourself. You have to ask the hard questions. What do I truly want? What lights me up? Impact do I want to make? And most importantly, what am I willing to risk to make it real? Because answering your calling will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you some friendships. It will cost you time, energy, and a lot of emotional resilience. But what you gain in return is worth everything. You gain clarity. You gain peace. You gain a deep sense of fulfillment that can't be bought or borrowed. You stop feeling like you're chasing life and start feeling like you're creating it. You move with intention. You walk with power. You no longer second guess your worth because you've decided that your purpose is non-negotiable. You also have to be willing to fail. A lot. Answering your calling doesn't mean the path will be smooth. It means the path will be meaningful. You'll stumble. You'll be misunderstood. You'll question yourself. But every setback will shape you. Every failure will strengthen you. Because your calling isn't about perfection. It's about progression. It's about becoming who you were created to be, one bold step at a time. And as you keep showing up, you'll discover that what once scared you now fuels you. What once felt impossible now becomes your new normal. And that transformation is exactly what you were called for. Another important part of answering your calling is understanding that it's not just about you. Your gifts are meant to serve others. Your story is meant to inspire someone else's breakthrough. When you step into your purpose, you create space for others to do the same. You become living proof that it's possible. That courage is contagious. That faith is powerful. So don't think your journey is just about you getting ahead. It's about you paving the way for others to rise too. Or your obedience to your calling creates impact that ripples far beyond your own life. In your dream, you'll know you've answered your calling when you stop chasing happiness and start creating meaning. When you wake up with purpose, even on the hard days. When you look in the mirror and see someone who, despite the fear, despite the doubt, still chose to show up. And that choice, to show up again and again, that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Your calling doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be present, to say yes, to begin. So stop waiting for a sign. This is your sign. Stop waiting for someone to validate your dream. Validate yourself by working on it every single day. Stop running from the weight of your potential and start carrying it with pride. You are here for a reason. You are built for something greater. And that voice inside of you, the one you keep trying to ignore, it's right. You are made for more. So answer the call, show up, stand tall, and start living the life that's been waiting for you all along. You've come too far to play small now. After everything you've been through, every heartbreak, every setback, every quiet night where you wondered if you were good enough, you're still standing, still breathing, still carrying a fire in your chest that refuses to go out. That means something. That means you were built different. That means you're not here by accident. You were born with purpose in your bones, with a light in your spirit that was never meant to be dimmed by doubt or drowned by fear. You were created for more. More than surviving, more than blending in, more than living on autopilot. You were created to rise, to lead, to shift the atmosphere every time you walk into a room. So now it's time. Time to stop second guessing and start executing. Time to stop shrinking for the comfort of others and start expanding for the sake of your future. No more waiting for perfect conditions. They don't exist. No more apologizing for your ambition. Own it. No more negotiating your potential with mediocrity. Step into your power like you were always meant to. This is your moment. This is your reset. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs you. The raw, real, relentless version of you that's been hiding behind fear and overthinking for too long. Peel back the layers. Burn the mask. Let your truth breathe. Let your gift speak. Let your grind tell the world what you're about. Without saying a single word. The life you want is not found in comfort. It's carved in chaos, built in silence, and paid for with sacrifice. You've got to be willing to sweat for it. Bleed for it. Cry, fail, learn, and still show up again tomorrow. Because that's how champions are made. Not by talk, but by tenacity. Not by ease, but by endurance. Not by what they feel like doing, but by what they refuse to stop doing. You're not weak. You're not late. You're not broken. You are becoming. Every challenge you face was preparing you for this version of yourself. The focused, driven, disciplined force that doesn't fold under pressure, but turns pressure into diamonds. Your past doesn't define you. Your pain doesn't imprison you. And your mistakes don't disqualify you. They were chapters, not conclusions. Lessons, not limits. Fuel, not failure. And the beautiful thing about your story is that you still hold the pen. You're the author. You can decide what happens next. So write something worth remembering. Build something worth bleeding for. Create a life so bold, so purpose-driven, that it echoes long after you're gone. You were never meant to fit in. You were born to stand out. You're not here to chase approval. You're here to create impact, to build legacy, to set fire to fear and walk through the flames with your head high and your soul aligned. And no, it won't be easy. But easy never changed the world. You will be doubted. You will be tested. You will be stretched in ways you never imagined. But you will not break. because what's inside of you is greater than what's ahead of you. And once you decide, truly decide that you're all in, the universe will move, doors will open, strength will rise, vision will sharpen, and the grind will no longer feel like a burden. It will feel like a blessing. So step into the arena, bring your full self, scars, dreams, faith, and all. Be bold, be loud, be relentless. The world is watching, but more importantly, your future is waiting. And it doesn't need another excuse. It needs execution belief. It needs you, unapologetic, unshakable, and unstoppable. This is your time. Your rise. You mind your business. Lock in on your purpose. And never ever let go. Let the world feel your presence before they hear your voice. Let your actions be the echo of your ambition. And when it's all said and done, let your legacy prove that you were never average. You were always a force.